Yep, I know what you're thinking. Why on earth take a 300,000 kilometer M3 to the track? Well, if you're dumb enough to do the rod bearings yourself, you're dumb enough to blow the engine while you're at it. And let's face it, what's the point of owning an M3 if you're not going to rip it on the track in the first place?
Here we go!
Now, I'll be honest, this was the first time I was on a track in about 15 years, and the first time with this car. So I spent the first 5 laps, 10 laps, going at moderate speeds, learning the track, learning the car, and getting a feel for things in general. Now, the first 5 or 10 laps I drove with the traction control on, and I found the car was very difficult to rotate, and I only found this out later once I actually turned the traction control off, and the handling became a whole different ball game. Much better, much more balanced, much more willing and eager to rotate.
Yes, baby.
Now, as much as the M3 is a phenomenal fast road car and a very comfortable, fast, exciting sedan to drive on the streets, it definitely was showing its shortcomings on the track. Number one, it's too soft. Number two, it's way too heavy. And number three, it is desperately under-braked from factory. Even with street performance pads and racing brake fluid, it was overheating its brakes and just not able to stop quickly enough.
Oh, way too early.
I usually go for 5 to 6 laps per session and then go and cool the brakes, which, not surprisingly, got extremely hot throughout the day, as noticed by this incident when I pulled into the pits.
Is that normal? What is that?
Now, even though I wasn't out here trying to set any lap records, one of my friends was in a Golf R, and let's just say things got a little spicy pretty quickly. Here's some videos of his dash cam from his car. As you can see, he was trying pretty desperately to catch up to me, but catch up he did in a mostly stock Golf R against my mostly stock E90 M3. Now, the biggest difference you can see here is in the braking zones. The Golf R being several hundred pounds lighter with equally good brakes just massively outbrakes the M3. And no matter how much you try and put the traction down, the combination of four-wheel drive, lighter, and equally good brakes is just a losing recipe for me. However, I am mighty proud of my one power slide and save on this corner. This was probably the highlight of the day. Now, when the M3 was sliding around, and it did on a few corners, it was very predictable, and it was very gradual, and it was very easy to catch, actually. The tires that I'm running on are Continental Extreme Contact Sport 02s, which are like a high-performance summer street occasional track tire. And when I was really pushing them hard for a few laps, they got pretty squirrely and greasy pretty quickly, which means, you know, at 80% driving, great. 100% maximum attack on the track, definitely not. Now, as much as I would have loved to continue getting my ass whooped by my Golf R friend, this Camaro Firebird, whatever the hell this thing is, was burning so much oil in front of me that I could not breathe, so I had to pull out and go into the pits after this lap.
Woo! That was some fun.
What I'm most proud of, actually, number one, I didn't crash or kill anybody, but secondly, the engine rebuild that I did with the rod bearings and the full service of last year paid off because the engine performed flawlessly. Oil temps were in check, there was no rod knocking, the power was very strong and linear throughout the whole day. The car is a beast. And let's not forget 300,000 kilometers almost on a stock engine. What an engineering feat from BMW M. So that, unfortunately, my friends, has left me with some tough choices to make. But for that, you're going to have to wait until the next video. Until then, thanks for watching. Adios.